This concert is a benefit concert for the Music Foundation of Western North Carolina. The Music Foundation of Western North Carolina is a nonprofit organization with a passion to unite the arts community by creating extraordinary educational and performance opportunities for all ages. Donations can be made by sending a check to 2314 Asheville Highway, Hendersonville, North Carolina, 28791, payable to the Music Foundation of Western North Carolina, or by calling this phone number, 828-551-0096, and you will be able to utilize your credit card. Thank you all very much. Niebla from 4 Preludios. Lita, Spena, 1904 to 1989. She was an Argentinian pianist, composer, and pedagogue. Her favorite composers were Debussy and Ravel. She specialized in vocal chamber music and the folklore motifs of the national Northwest. Martin Wolfertz, videographer, discovered one printed copy for purchase at an Italian rare book and map outlet in Brindisi, Italy, via eBay. However, the dealer was not set up for shipment to the United States. Martin contacted the seller and convinced him to set up his eBay store for international shipment. The mystery remains, however. How did this score, printed in 1954 in Buenos Aires, Argentina, make its way into Italy, and of all places, to Brindisi? Pauline Viardot, Vielle Chanson and Berceuse from 6 Morceaux pour violin and piano, composed 1868. Pauline Viardot was born in Paris and died in Paris in 1910. A piano pupil of Franz Liszt, she was a close friend of Clara Schumann, Georges Sand, Hector Berlioz, Frédéric Chopin, Charles Gounod. She created the title role in his opera Sappho. Giacomo Meyerbeer, and many other personalities of the cultural life of 19th century Europe. Robert Schumann was sufficiently inspired to dedicate his Opus 24 Heine songs to her. Quote, "There is nothing more interesting, nothing more moving than to feel that you have an entire audience in the hollow of your hand, laughing when you laugh, weeping when you sob, and shaking with anger." William Bolcom, born 1938. The Eternal Feminine from the Garden of Eden Suite. Genre-hopping extraordinaire William Bolcom first became famous as a leader of ragtime revival of the 1970s. National Medal of Arts, Pulitzer Prize, and Grammy Award-winning composer, he studied composition with Milhaud and Messiaen, among others. The Garden of Eden Suite tells the story of the fall of ragtime. In The Eternal Feminine, Bolcom retains many features of classic ragtime style. For example, a slow march tempo, the well-balanced 2-bar and 4-bar phrase structures, the simple diatonic harmonies, and the tied, syncopated rhythms found at the very beginning of the piece. However, the harmonic ambiguity contained therein indicates that Bolcom is freely incorporating new ideas into his rags. In Bolcom's interpretation, the unexpected harmonic progressions and the unstable tonality symbolize the mystery of woman. Clarence Cameron White, 1880 to 1960. Levee Dance, composed in 1927. Born in Tennessee, White was an accomplished violinist and a major participant in the Black Renaissance, Harlem Renaissance. He spent significant periods of time in Europe where he was trained by renowned musicians. Championed by violin virtuoso Jascha Heifetz, virtuoso gestures of technique and range, plus a solo cadenza, made Levee Dance one of Heifetz's favorite encores. The commanding and powerful melody of Go Down Moses, for example, forms the central episode of Levee Dance. The composer frames the traditional melody with a syncopated dance. Given the composer's high stature and musical attainment, it is likely that the racial bias of the time prevented him from recording this composition as well as others. Elena Kats-Chernin, 1957, still alive. Elena Kats-Chernin is one of Australia's leading composers. Diverse output includes operas, orchestral works, chamber and solo pieces, plus music for dance, film, and theater. She was born to Jewish parents in Uzbekistan, migrated to Australia in 1975. Her music was featured at the opening ceremonies of both the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games and the 2003 Rugby World Cup. Blue Silence, 2006. Blue Silence was commissioned by the Joan Sutherland Performing Arts Center and had its premiere in September 2006 for an exhibition in Australia devoted to artists suffering from schizophrenia. It was initiated by Dinah Dysart, called For Matthew and Others, and dedicated to her son Matthew, who committed suicide, who had schizophrenia. At the base of the piece is a 4-chord progression, very simple and minimal. Quote, "A person with schizophrenia hears voices which can be very disturbing. There is a yearning for silence. I wrote this work so that my son Alex, who suffers from the illness, can listen to calmness and meditation. It's called Blue Silence because blue is sometimes associated with healing." Videographer Martin Wolfertz was directed to a Boosey and Hawkes affiliate in Australia, and after learning that an arrangement for violin and piano was not in print at the time, by special request, Boosey and Hawkes in New York was able to print and ship a violin piano version to Martin. This version is now part of their catalog. Louisa Elena Paesano, 1941 to 2019. Born in Caracas, Venezuela, she was between the ages of 13 and 14 when she composed her best-known work, El Trancao, which is usually recognized as a musical style. The musical genre that made her known was the Venezuelan merengue, but she also dabbled in the waltz, the dance, joropo, sacred and academic music. Quote, "It is not easy to play it, nor to write it, nor to read it. Even the keystrokes are different from classical music. For her, music is something extraordinary, a relaxation, a spiritual oasis that fills you and transports you." Alba Rosa Viator, 1889 to 1979. Canzonetta, composed in 1939. Alba Rosa Viator was born in Italy, lived in Uruguay, Argentina, and the United States. Though a respected musician and composer who enjoyed her fair share of fame on a modest scale, she will likely never be more than a footnote in musical history. But that is precisely what makes her story so fascinating. The story of a woman of exceptional musical talent who lived her life to the fullest and gave all she had to her music and to her friends and family. Her music reflects traditions from around the world, as well as from her classical upbringing, to produce a modern, international, unique sound. The most important element that dominates all of Alba Rosa Viator's work is not the form, but rather the mood she wishes to convey. Martha von Sabinin, Nocturne, the last piece from 11 Pièces de Salon, Opus 5, 1831 to 1892. Martha von Sabinin was born in Denmark, grew up in Germany, and spent half her life in Russia. She received the title of Weimar court pianist. Her connection to the highest aristocracy then opened up a different second life for her, and she received an appointment as court music teacher to the children of Tsar Alexander II in St. Petersburg, Russia. As great as this honor was, working for the Russian ruling family meant the end of her public concerts because she was not allowed to practice as a lady in waiting. From then on, religious, charitable, and social engagement took the place of the artistic. After the murder of her mother and 4 sisters in 1892, she died of a stroke in December 1892. She published a total of 22 songs and a ballad for voice and piano, as well as a collection of 11 piano pieces. The second composition by Elena Kats-Chernin is called Slicked Back Tango. Her Slicked Back Tango, 1996, is a Valentino-inspired tango, completely in 1930s tango style, and bends and flourishes with polished charm. Maria Ponce, 1882 to 1948, is undoubtedly Mexico's most beloved composer. Political and social difficulties arose in Mexico during the years of the Mexican Revolution, 1910 to 1920, and caused Ponce's voluntary exile to Havana, Cuba, which was at that time the center of cultural activity and a musical hub for the Latin world. In 1925, he traveled to Paris to study piano and composition with Paul Dukas. There, he met other influential Latin American and European composers, such as Villalobos, Milhaud, Varese, Joaquin Rodrigo, pianist Alfred Cortot, and most significantly, Andrés Segovia, with whom he remained friends for the rest of his life. In 1923, violinist Jascha Heifetz was in Mexico City and realized he didn't have any work by a Mexican composer on his program. While in a cafe, he heard a musician sing a popular song written by Ponce called Estrellita, My Little Star. Heifetz took notes on his napkin and composed an arrangement for violin and piano based on it. Estrellita became one of his favorite encore pieces. Charlie Chaplin, 1889 to 1977. Beautiful, wonderful eyes from his film City Lights. Chaplin's last silent film, 1931, tells the story of a poor little man, the tramp, played by Chaplin, who falls in love with a blind flower girl. The film's poignant view of the world and society leaves you laughing and crying at the same time. The track and Chaplin's score is lyrical, energized, and integral. The film is perfectly constructed. Beautiful, wonderful eyes, lyrics. I can't forget when first we met, beneath the starry skies. But most of all, I would recall the magic of your eyes. Through all the tears, through all the years, the vision never dies. Again, I see in memory the magic of your eyes. Beautiful eyes. What have they seen to make them so beautiful? Wonderful eyes. What have they dreamed to make them so wonderful? Sorrowful eyes. What have they lost to make them so sorrowful? Beautiful, wonderful eyes. Andrè Jolivet, 1905 to 1974. He was the sole pupil in France studying composition with Edgar Varèse. In 1936, he took part in the creation of the group Jean France with Olivier Messiaen, Daniel Lesueur, and Yves Baudrier. He held the post of professor of composition at the Paris Conservatoire from 1966 until 1970. In quest of new techniques and languages, of novel sounds and rhythms, he composed music that was energetic, often modal, in which emotion always dominated virtuosity. He desired above all, quote, "My art is dedicated to restoring music's original ancient sense as the magical and incantatory expression of the religiosity of human communities." William Albright, 1944 to 1998. The Dream Rags, composed in 1970. Sleepwalker's Shuffle. Born in Indiana, Albright wrote rags for the organ, which was a total novelty. His compositions often combine complex rhythmic and non-tonal techniques with elements of American pop music, such as classic piano ragtime and early jazz style, such as Harlem Stride and Boogie Woogie. Albright, along with his University of Michigan colleague William Bolcom, helped fuel the ragtime revival of the 1960s and 70s with Scott Joplin, U.B. Blake, and stride master James P. Johnson as personal touchstones. The Sleepwalker's Shuffle creates a slow and otherworldly sensibility that is shocked with frightening outbursts of dissonance and a special Harlem-style section for the late U.B. Blake, to whom this rag was dedicated. Quote, "Ragtime, a beautiful classical syncopated music from the turn of the century, has a new fascination for composers. Why not have fun and sentimentality? It's very avant-garde." William Albright died of cirrhosis in 1998 due to alcoholism.